Hey, welcome to Vintage 12 here on Kingston Plantation. I'm going to show you a really cool salad today. A little bit of arugula, some roasted beets, a little bit of tomatoes. Should be fun. First, let's start off with the dressing, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to make an emulsification, right? Big, big word. All it means is just one liquid suspended in another liquid. Makes it thicker. So I want you to remember a couple things for me, right? If you can remember 1, 1, and 2, pretty easy. 1, 1, and 2. That's the basic ratio for a vinaigrette. So the three ingredients we're going to use today is going to be vinegar, and I like to use either a red wine vinegar or a champagne vinegar, sugar, and then vegetable oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 part vinegar, there, and we're going to take 1 part sugar, right there, and we're going to dissolve that sugar inside of the vinegar. The reason we do that first is because the sugar just doesn't like to dissolve that much in oil. It gets kind of grainy and get that gritty flavor going. So what you'll notice is that as soon as the sugar starts to dissolve, the vinegar will become clear again. So it's a little bit white right now. Once that's done, it'll be clear again. Then what we're going to do is add the 2 parts, right? So you had 1 part vinegar, 1 part sugar. Now we're going to go 2 parts oil. So now what that's going to do is going to give you a thicker liquid than the 3 of them separately, right? So those 2 things combined, now you've got the basis for your vinaigrette. So depending on what kind of flavor you want in there is what you're going to add, right? So black pepper vinaigrette. Throw some raspberries in there, raspberry vinaigrette, right? As far as your imagination goes, how far that's going to be. So as we're getting that done, I've started off a little saute pan here. I'm going to put a touch of oil in it. And I've got a cipollini onion, right? A little soft, nice cipollini onion. We're going to get that started, and we want to get that nice and brown, a little sauteed on the side. And what we're also going to do is we're going to add an heirloom tomato in there, right? Heirloom tomato is probably a word you hear a lot, but most people don't explain heirloom tomato to you, right? So what you're doing is you're modifying the best characteristics of the tomato you can find. So let's say you've got a plant and it's got a little yellow stripe down the tomato. You take the seeds from that, you plant it again. And then you take the one with the most stripes on it, take the seeds from that, plant it again. Before you know it, you've altered that tomato to give some of the best characteristics you can have. So this one's just a little bit of a blonde one and a little yellow, kind of a golden heirloom tomato. So I'm going to throw a couple of beets in there too. I took the liberty of roasting these earlier. The great thing about roasted beets is the name of it tells you what to do with it, right? Roast the beets. What I typically like to do is keep the skin on because there's a lot of flavor and a lot of nutrients in there. Sometimes as Americans what we do is we take the best thing about something and whittle it away and use the inside. When you look at different root vegetables, most of their nutrients are going to be packed inside of that skin, right? So you'll find if you play with that a little bit and leave it on, leave it off, you might find that you're going to enjoy that woodsier flavor. So while that's going right there, I'm going to start constructing our salad. So I'm going to take that vinaigrette we just made and I'm going to toss some arugula in it. And as we do that, you're going to see that the arugula is going to really start to get some luster to it. It gets this characteristic where it's kind of dull and boring, you know, until you give it a little pizzazz. So as that starts to get shiny again, and we move that around a touch, you also want to make sure that you're salting your greens. I know that sounds weird because most people don't do it. Just a little bit of salt into the greens is going to really bring out that black pepper flavor that arugula has. So we're going to start to plate this. Just get a little bit in the center. And of course, you know what they say, right? Presentation's everything. Even when you're at home, presentation's everything. If you want to make it cool, make it look cool. And we're going to take the tomato that we were sauteing there. You can see that that's got that really great black and yellow color to it, black and gold. It looks awesome. So we're going to take that cipollini onion, and it did the same thing. So the naturally occurring sugars inside of that cipollini onion allowed all of that to become black in concentric circles. So it's really cool. And of course, you can't forget the beets, right? The star of the show. And what I like to do is just put a couple here, a couple there, move it around a touch. And we're also going to complement this with a little bit of shaved red onion. The red onion is really there as flair, but it's also a really nice complement. If you think about flavors that go well, onion, black pepper, right? It's a really robust salad, so you need something that's going to stand up to it. So, there you go. Okay, roast beet salad with arugula. Thanks for stopping by.